Hey, Skillbyte here. In this video, I'm going to review this 2024 CX-90. No, it's not the S Premium Plus top of the line in artesian red. No. This is the 8-passenger Preferred Plus. Maybe the best value of the CX-90s, but hey, we'll take a look at it and you let me know what you think.
All right, it claims that it's an 8-passenger. So we have 8 real-sized young people here. All right.
Hey Billy, you gotta let me scoot back.
So do y'all actually fit back there?
Yes, buddy.
Is it a little tight?
A little snug.
A little snug? How's the leg room?
Actually, that's not
It's
bad.
good.
Not bad.
It's
Not
good.
bad?
I just got big feet, you know.
There you go. Yeah. Headroom?
Headroom.
All right.
Headroom. Nice.
Middle row?
Setup here. Nice.
Yeah,
You got actual room?
it's pretty good.
Impressive. Okay. The front? There you go. Actual 8 people in it, and I don't mean small people.
So if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm a car guy. And I happen to own a couple Mazdas. In fact, my wife drives a CX-9 2016 that the CX-90 is supposed to replace. So I know a little bit about them. But I'm not affiliated with Mazda. But I do want to thank Nelson Mazda for loaning me this for a couple days so I could check it out and do this review. Their link is in the description.
All right, so a couple things. One, you can see it's 24 Mazda CX-90 Turbo Preferred Plus package, deep crystal blue mica with the greige leather, 25 combined, 24 city, 28 highway. Hopefully you can see the options. You can pause it where needed. So optional equipment, illuminated door sill plates, Preferred Plus package, My Drive Sport Off-Road and Towing, 5,000 towing capacity, active driving display, that's your HUD, and this works really good in this one. Wireless phone charger, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Destination is $13.75, total price $47,575. So it's evening and overcast. We had a nice thunderstorm come through, so this blue looks a little darker than it would on a sunny day. Deep crystal blue mica, very nice color, and it goes well with the black trim. So the Preferred has this black trim along the bottom and the wheel arches, and even on the front, and you'll see it on the back. So a darker color is going to make it blend better, whereas a lighter color, especially like a white, it's going to really contrast. So your color will affect how pronounced that is. The Preferred also has this in black. It's there to break up the line there. Let's look at it with the lights on. There's your daytime running light, is actually the headlight on the Preferred. By the way, these are actual vents. So while they help to break up that large front end, they also have a function. The grille is a nice gloss black grille. Of course, you got the Mazda emblem, and this has the radar cruise control function is there. The wheels, the Preferred comes with a 19-inch, and it's 265/55 R19, the tire. The mirror has a body colored cap, and here are turn signals. The door handles, Mazda does a really good job with those, and it's got a keyless entry. So as long as you got the key on you, if you reach for it, it'll unlock, and you can lock it similarly. We're gonna back out. Now, this is really large. I think it's too large, my opinion. That's how you get in it, and there's plenty of room because it's huge. And by the way, that's where you would put the gas cap. You hang it instead of hanging it down in your paint. And this does lock when the car is locked. It's got the black trim. This Preferred has the black trim around the windows. And it's got this interesting piece here. It's kind of growing on me. And you have the roof rails in satin chrome. Come around the back. There's your tail lights. If you've read up on these, you know those are faux tail lights. Unless you got like the top model. The S, some of the S's have that actually lit up. There's the lights on. Brake. There's your brake lights and reverse. And there's your backup lights. She's coming right for me. Oh, and by the way, it makes a noise when it's in reverse. But the lines are really nice. It is all-wheel drive and E Skyactiv G. Oh, there are no visible tailpipes. They're up under, right there and right there. I think they're going for that electric look. And we're back on this side, which looks strangely like the other side. Now, Mazda's had really good quality. You look at the Consumer Reports rankings, and Mazda's way up there. And if you look at things like the body panel gaps, look how nice those are. That's hard to get right on the hoods. Look at that. I mean, the panel gaps are just so tight. When you're looking at cars, that kind of gives you an idea of the overall quality you're gonna see. So being a car guy and doing a little racing, engines matter to me. But check this out. Yeah, it lifts itself. Now I'm going to point out a couple things here. One, ginormous beauty cover. I mean engine cover. You can open it like so, and it will tilt and pull out if you want to pull it out, or you can use this to hang it open. You can hang it. Now, by the way, there is your lithium ion battery location, and we will get into that. So servicing this, super easy. Your air cleaner right there where you need to get to it. This is your radiator overflow, your windshield washer fluid, oil fill, and your oil dipstick. All convenient, easy to get to. By the way, there's your turbo on the exhaust side. Did I mention it was an inline 6? Oh yeah, it's not a V6. Inline 6 are smoother, much better power, torque, than an V6. V6s are inherently rough. So Mazda made the right decision on going with a inline 6, in my opinion. And this has 280 horsepower, 332 pounds of torque, and does not require premium. That is just on regular 87 octane gas. And putting premium in it is not going to give it more horsepower. Now, this cover just pops up as well if you want to remove that. But it's all this serves a purpose, and that actually is to keep the noise down. This here, yes, it does keep some heat from going up into the hood, but it also absorbs a lot of the fuel injection noise. The hood, it's got its own right there. That's somewhat for heat, but again, it's for noise because your fuel injection is loud. Now, something I want to point out that Mazda's really good at doing, this engine goes way back in the back. It's set back, so you have better weight balance. That really helps on the handling. But if you look, so this thing has a long wheelbase, which helps with your ride, makes a smoother ride. But if you look at the front axle here, bring it up, and your front of the engine is like right over the axle. Most of it, the weight is primarily back towards the middle of the car, which again helps with your balance. That helps your handling. And on the mild hybrid, what it does, it has a small battery, produces a little over 100 pounds of torque at 200 RPM. When you're taking off from a stop, it uses that to boost your initial acceleration. You can't actually run on it on its own, that type of thing. You can't choose to charge it, run on it only. It is what it is, and it's there to help the off-the-line acceleration. So let's look at the interior. This is the Preferred Plus. So it's got this for your door trim. This, I like this. It gives it a 3D aspect. It's got the nice trim here, and that flows through a couple other places I'll show you. Here are your door locks, mirror adjustment here, your windows, and by the way, it does have one touch up and down, and you can lock your windows so the kids can't play with them. The seat color is greige, or is that greige, with perforated leather. Black accent. No, you don't feel that when you sit on it. The driver's seat is 8-way power adjustable. So you can move it forward, back. You can adjust the back. You've got lumbar support. And you can raise and lower, oops, the front and back of the seat. The passenger side is 4-way, so you can forward and backward. You can move the back, but you can't raise and lower, and you don't have the lumbar adjustment. Listen for the sound of the door. Solid. So some of the touches that I really like, if you look here, see how that angle, it's not a 90-degree angle, because they got this on the door side coming towards you, so it kind of rounds it a little more. So of course you can open and close the vent. It's got this nice contrast color. Remember those stitching on the door? Same color right here. Comes across to here, crossed there, wait, and even down here, my leg will get out of the way, and on the center console. Start it up. Yep, I don't have my seatbelt on. By the way, sunglasses storage. It's awesome. And of course your lights and your moonroof control. This Preferred Plus has manual dimming mirror, does not have the home link. On the left lower dash, you have some controls. This one is to control the back, opening and closing it. This button here will disable some of your safety features. Traction control system off and iStop off. So it does have an iStop. So your dash, typical 3 gauge, tach, speedometer, and then temperature and fuel gauge, miles per gallon, some other nice things. While I'm showing you the gauge, we have My Drive. So you can change the driving characteristics of the vehicle. If I push this up, it's going to put it in sport, and it's going to change the look so I know it's in sport. What sport does is holds the RPMs a little longer, that type of thing. Go down is normal, that's what we had it at. Now we're going to go off-road, and it goes to that, like, looks like a gear. Standard Mazda light control over here. Does have auto headlights, so they'll come on when it gets dark enough, and it's already dark enough, they're on. And your turn signals and brights. Oh, and it does have high beam control so that it will auto dim for oncoming traffic. Over here you've got your wipers, including auto wipers that will come on as needed. Paddle shifters, it has an 8-speed transmission, automatic transmission, and so you've got paddle shifters, none of this CVT stuff. I'm sorry, I'm a car guy, I don't like CVTs. So here you have your sound controls, so you can control, mute, up, down volume, the normal stuff. Here is your Bluetooth sound, so that you can answer and hang up. Info changes the screen, the dash, so you can rotate through the options. And then on the other side, you got your cruise control. And this does have adaptive cruise control with stop and go. What that means is that it will adjust its speed based upon the traffic in front of you. If traffic backs up, it's going to back up, try to maintain a distance, which you can set. Cruise control's on and traffic stops and the vehicle comes to a stop, you do have to manually start it again. And of course your push button start stop engine. And on your side mirrors, they do have, in that top left corner, you'll see a blind spot indicator if there's a vehicle that does it on both sides, and they are heated. So this is a 10.25 inch display. Does not come with Sirius XM or the shark fin, but it has your information, entertainment, communication, navigation, and settings, kind of your standard stuff. And by the way, it does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And the Preferreds have 8-speaker AM/FM stereos with automatic level control. Now I should mention, it's not doing anything. So this does not have a touchscreen unless you've got your CarPlay or Android Auto running. You probably won't get as many fingerprints on it, at least. Instead, you have the controls here. Now, this will turn. You can push it to select something. It has home, which can show just the clock, or brings you to the home menu. There's return, there's navigation, there is music. So just hit that one and it'll take you to the one that was labeled entertainment. This is your volume control, muting, and this is your favorites.
Well, I like this display customization much nicer than the CX-9. It's easier to tell what everything does. In fact, it even explains it on the side, what everything does. On mine, it's you got to figure out what each one means.
That's her 2016 CX-9 with the old Mazda Connect. Lots of different settings. Pedal shift logic. Huh. Interesting. Lots of stuff buried in here. You can turn your DRLs off. Coming home light. Lots of settings. Moving up, it does have hill descent assist, so you don't have to ride the brakes. Shifter. I actually kind of like the shifter. It's got a little button up here to press, so it won't accidentally come out of park. Safety. And they have park on the left. It's a kind of a different thing, but again, it's good from a safety standpoint. So hit the brakes here and push the button in, go reverse. While we're here, it does have a static reverse screen, but the quality is much improved over some of the previous years. And it has cross traffic warnings, that type of thing. Now we can go to neutral, drive. It will go to neutral, but not to reverse, and we go back to park. And we already talked about my drive. This is a wireless charging location, and you have a 12-volt power. Controls. I much prefer the button controls to the touch screen controls. You can manually set it, turn it on. You can have both sides synced or have them separate. The buttons are only push down, which is a little different, but that is how they are. Heated seats on the front for both sides, 3 levels. Of course, you got your AC. This is your rear control. So this will let you set the rear temperature from the front. Recirculate, you know, your fan speed, some of the standard stuff. Front defrost, rear defrost. There's your glove box, decent sized glove box. This is kind of different on the side. I kind of like it. And your cup holders. Now, this matches the door. I don't know what color this is called, and it's not textured. I'm guessing that's aluminum, but it is smooth. It's not textured. So we get to the center console. It opens 2 sides. It is not real deep. It is felt, and you have 2 USB-Cs. So everybody is going to USB-C as a standard now. So they have USB-Cs. This is nice and soft, so it will be nice for an armrest. Oh, and by the way, this armrest, nice. You can actually rest your arm on it. I almost forgot one of my favorite features. Telescoping and height. So you can adjust it to whatever works for you. So driver and passenger have the lit ground by the door, and of course the CX-90 lights up. The back doors, they open almost 90 degrees. So you have lots of room to get in. They mimic the front doors with the trim here. They have a VIP screen, both sides on the back. And there's your controls, couple cup holders, and an extra spot for chips or whatever. You got that stitching, colored stitching there. The back seats coordinate with the front seats with the black stripe. You have your AC controls, your 2 USB-Cs. So the second row and the third row have your locks for your car seats. This folds down. You've got a couple cup holders, and it's soft. Nice actual armrest, perhaps. Now, this being the 8-seat version, it's got the bench here, which will actually fit 3 adults. You can optionally get on the Preferred Plus 2 captain's chairs here instead, and that center right here is missing. It's taken out. You just got 2 captain's chairs. It'll only seat 2, but you get a walk through to the 3rd row. You also have a little cup holder that you can flip up on the side of that seat. I have the 2nd row set up here. Both seats are in the same position. So I'm going to get in. I have plenty of room. Feet, there's plenty of room underneath. I am not being pressed at all. Perfectly comfortable. Now, to get in the back, you've got, you know, the typical lever here. You could use this, or you can press that and it will drop the seat and just slide it forward. What's cool, it's got like little steps so you can get back in here. Hopefully you can see how this is made. It just comes around and it's soft. So let's step in using the steps. And I got plenty of leg room. Oh, wait, let me pull this thing back. Hopefully you can see my feet. Got plenty of feet room. Now this is with this seat a little forward of where it was because I can't push it back any farther from back here. But this seat is exactly where it was. So I'll slide over here. There is less foot room down here under the seat, so be aware of that. But I still have leg room, knee room. Look at not a whole lot, but I have some. So here I am sitting in the middle, and I can sit here fine. 2 cup holders per side, a USB-C plug, a vent that will move, and this is so when you're getting out, you have something to grab. So on the back, as long as it's unlocked or you have the key, push it and it'll automatically open. So here are the floor mats. They're just not installed, and a front license plate frame in case you need one in your state. Of course, got a light. You have this little pocket here, and you have this handle that opens to reveal some more storage. Spare tire is under there, as well as your tools. And you have a 12-volt power supply and tie downs. You have 3rd-point anchors for car seats. All right, cubic feet stuff, that doesn't mean anything to me. So you have 21 inches in the center, and it drops down to like 18 on the sides. This is with the 3rd row up. To put them down, just grab the strap, pull it towards you, and lower it. Very simple, and you can do it with one hand. And this is where it was when I did the sitting in the 3rd row test. About 48 from the top of the seat there in the middle. All right, with the tape measure there behind the front seats, we're looking at about 83 inches in the center, and for width you're looking at about 43 inches. Height about 30 inches. Something that I really like that shows Mazda's attention to detail: 3rd row seat belt. It's got this little piece that you can slide the buckle into. That does 2 things. 1, it keeps it out of the way when you're loading. 2, this isn't going to, if you have the windows down or something, it's not going to vibrate. So if you have ever had a car that had the seat belt buckle where it'll just laying against plastic and you're driving, starts vibrating, drives me nuts. All right, because this is a mild hybrid, it is still a hybrid. And it has I-stop, so I'm sitting here and the engine's off. I'm going to lift my foot off the brake. Engine starts and I go. It uses the electric motor to help boost the power, and we're off. It can feel a little bit odd sometimes because, 1, if you're not used to I-stop, and 2, because of the electric motor boosting it. This car now has 82 miles on it. Oh, and you see that? We're kind of coasting, and it turned the engine off to save gas. I mean, we're still moving. Now I'm going to give it a little gas and it kicks in. So with this inline 6, there's more room in the wheel well for the tires to turn. So it has a much tighter turn radius. It turns sharper than like a V6 because it just has more room for those wheels to actually turn. I mean, it's super sharp, crazy sharp. So Mazda is all about the driving experience. It's not as soft as some of the other mid-size 3 rows, but it handles so much better, so much more fun to drive. It's a driver's car. You know, Mazda used to be zoom zoom. Yeah, I really liked that one. So let's see how it does merging onto the interstate. And we take the corner, does fine. I'm going to trying to stay around 40. By the way, my feet have more room than in the CX-9. All right, I'm doing 45. It's really hard to go slower than that. Okay. Alright, I kicked it. It's got plenty of power, even this 280 horsepower version has plenty of power to merge. So I'm gonna slow down. By the way, the brakes are really good. Okay, so I'm doing about 50. Drops down 70. So when you get moving, it's got good acceleration. The 8-speed automatic this is in normal mode, so it's not sport mode. It responds fairly fast, you know, when you compare it to other equivalent cars, vehicles. In sport mode, it's a little quicker, it holds the revs longer. But I was mentioning the driving. This has dual wishbone front suspension, which is something that most of the competition does not have. They have struts. Now, why is a dual wishbone better? Because it keeps the tire's camber, that is, its position to the road, consistent through the travel of the suspension. So when you start into a corner, it's going to keep the wheel at that same angle, whereas a strut has a tendency of tipping out. So it goes to positive camber, which is really bad for handling. And the rear is multi-link and does the same thing. So the steering on this is really good. It's very precise. When I start moving it, it moves. The rear bias on the all-wheel drive also helps with handling, because a front-wheel drive by nature is going to want to understeer a little and push into a corner. When you go to try to turn, it actually wants to go straight, you know, to some degree. The rear bias helps when you go around a corner, helps that back end to come, helps that back end to follow. So it's a much better feel. So this has a multi-clutch plate system. Some people call it a wet clutch. They use that on generally sporty applications, because it's a quicker gear change and a smoother one. This 8-speed shifts really nice. I can't even feel it usually shifting. It's that smooth. But another reason they use that is because it gives more room for the electric motor, which is there, as I understand it, between the engine and transmission, where the torque converter would be, and that electric motor helps turn it. As you might be able to tell from the video, it's quiet in here. I hear a little bit of the tire rotation on the road, and I hear the fan, because I got the air conditioner cranked, seeing that it's 94 degrees outside. Hot. So I wouldn't call it fast, but it is definitely quick at speed, so you'll have no problem passing. The 340 horsepower one, people have said that it's around 6 to 6.3, 0 to 60. And the only time I have seen for the 280, which is what I'm driving, is 6.9. I'd say that it's for sure no slower than that. Going uphill to merge. Let's see what we do. Alright, it ain't slow.
does have blind spot monitoring. It does have smart city braking. I believe that that is limited to 30 miles an hour. If it senses that you're about to rear end somebody, you're moving forward and you're going to hit somebody or something, it will automatically apply the brakes and yell at you. Now this is a fun road, little back road. And you can get a sense of the feeling. That kinetic posture control keeps it from rolling. It's supposed to help about 25%. All right, we're gonna do a brake test. Ready? 45. Oh, yes. That's impressive. That was really good. Those wide tires help with that braking. Gotta be honest, I'm really liking it. I'm afraid my wife may be too. As in, she may want to upgrade from her CX-9. Let me know in the comments what package you like, what you'd be most likely to buy and why. Curious. And if you want me to do a review on any other packages or even any other Mazdas or other makes, give me some feedback on what you're thinking. Yeah, it takes these windy roads. It's like driving a sedan, like a large sedan. It is not like driving a big SUV. This is 4,700 pounds curb weight. It's very similar to a BMW in the feel. It even has an inline 6, which a lot of BMWs have because it's so much smoother than a V6. I will need to slow down on this one. It's not my Miata. Although it was nothing. Took it like it was nothing. Just handles so nice for an 8-passenger 3-row SUV. It's a driver's car. There, the ice stop turned off. I'm gonna let my foot off the gas, off the brake, and it started. Now we go. You can pull out onto a busy road, easy, plenty of power. And this only takes the 87 octane fuel. I guess I have not. You see a cop, foot goes to brake, even when you're not speeding. So I hope you found that helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, comment, and again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this a good package? The Preferred Plus 8. This one is for 8-seat. You can also get them in the 7. Is that what you'd go for, or would you go for the premium, or the S for the extra horsepower, and luxury, or would you go with the PHEV? Let me know, and good luck with your purchasing decision.